Flosstube friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Chris. I'm glad you're able to stop by for a visit today. Today is Thursday, April 29th, not Wednesday like my sign says. I did set up to shoot this video yesterday because that was the one day this week that the other three members of my family were all scheduled to be working, and I like to film when nobody else is home. But it turned out that two of the three ended up not going to work because they weren't feeling the best. No COVID, nothing serious, just not feeling the best. So I didn't end up shooting yesterday because of that. There was too many people in the house. So I'm shooting today. My one daughter is still home. Hopefully she won't walk into the middle of the video, but we'll see what happens. So I don't have a huge amount of stitching this month, but I do have some, and I've got some other fun stuff to maybe share with you today. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. So I'm going to start with my statistics. I got this idea from my friend Gail over in Australia. Hi Gail. And I kind of think it's a fun way to sort of sum up what I actually have done in the month for you, but for me as well. So this month I worked on 6 whips. I had 2 new starts, 2 finishes, and 1 FFO. So I'm going to start with my whips. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one I've shown you every month. It's my mini tree hugger cell by Carolyn Manning Designs. Show you a quick picture. That's it, the mini tree hugger, stitch along, 2021, Carolyn Manning Designs. So each month we get a new tree to work on. So I am stitching this on an 18 count oatmeal Aida, just with the called for DMCs. And here's where I'm at. So this tree right here, if you've been following along, this is April's tree. Wasn't sure when it was first released if I liked it, because it is quite different from the other ones, but when I stitched it, it actually was fun to stitch, and I really like the back stitching. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's back stitching in each of the leaves to look like the veining that you would see in a leaf. And that just really added a little extra to it. So those are the first 4 trees of 2021. So I'm having fun doing that, and it's really easy to keep up with because you can easily stitch one of those trees in a day or even an afternoon if you've got some solid stitching time. So yeah, so that's fun. The next whip that I worked on was my DMC Color Card. And this is by Men on Wool. It's a shop on Etsy. Sorry, I know that's really tiny, but it kind of gives you a bit of an idea. So I was able to complete another column on that. So I've got 5. I don't know if that's about a third of the way yet or not. Oh, and I am missing. I have to pick up a skein of 31. But yeah, it's fun to stitch. It's relaxing to stitch. It's a nice way to catalog what colors you have and you don't have. And I'm going to look forward to having it as a reference to look back on what some of the colors actually look like when you stitch them, as opposed to how they just look on the bobbin or in the skein. So yeah, so that's coming along. And that's just on an 18 count white Aida. The other whip that I worked on this month was my Cotton and Twine. The November Cotton and Twine, if you're not familiar, is a cross-stitch subscription box out of England, and every month you get a box that contains a pattern, obviously the fabric and flosses, but also all of the finishing materials and the instructions of how to finish it. Plus they usually throw in like a drink of some sort, a coffee, a tea, a hot chocolate, some sort of sweet, and then some other little gift, themed gift. Like for this one in November, because Christmas was coming, there was like a little robin ornament to hang on your tree, so something fun like that. So it's a really fun subscription box, and again, I liked it because it gives you everything to make one project. So the November 2019 pattern was this fun one with these 4 trees and the birds. And that's where I'm at on that one. Almost done that 3rd tree. So that one won't take long to finish up once, if I can just focus on it a little bit and spend a little bit more time stitching on it. So those are technically my whips from this month. I did have a couple of new starts. So one of those was by Tellin Emblem. And this is there's two patterns, I guess, two trying to think of the word, companion pieces. So I've already stitched one, and this is the second one. So they're called Leaves of Love, and this one is the clematis. The other one was the dogwood. And I'm stitching this on a 28 count black jobelin with the called for DMC. And just a little start. So stitching on the black even weave, it's just a 28 count. I do still find it a little bit of a challenge, just maybe because I don't use a hoop or a Q-snap. I don't know if maybe I had a stitch in hand, so I don't know if I maybe had more tension on the fabric. If it would open up the holes a little bit more, it might make it a little bit easier for me. But I do find once I get stitching, my eye kind of gets used to looking where I need to put my needle. So once I get going, it doesn't seem quite as bad. But I love it. I love how the colors pop on the black. So. Now my other new start is actually a finish, so I'll show you that next. It was actually my second focus project. If you've been following along this year, I usually pick 2 focus projects a month. So this was the second one that I picked. So it's the Lizzie Kate 4 Seasons, and this is the spring. And I actually started it and finished it. So that's the fun thing about picking focus projects, is because I spend probably, basically 2 weeks of the month stitching on them, I can make a lot of progress. And when they're small like this, you can finish them fairly easily. So you probably notice I have made a few changes. So I wanted my house, I wanted the 2 sides to be slightly different colors so you could tell it was 2 sides of the house. And I didn't like the great big tall door, so I made a smaller door. Do I love the changes I made? No, but it's fine. It's fine. I didn't like the orange flowers. They just seemed a little too much contrast, so I just used the 2 colors of purple. The interesting thing is, too, obviously it's a dye lot thing, because I have used a lot of the called for colors, but they do look slightly different. Like even my lilac, the lightest color on my house, is quite a bit darker than the one in the photo. And yes, I did my grass a different color because I'm not a fan of that really light green. And I didn't really like the lines that were in there, I guess, to indicate the hillside. So I just did it a solid green. But so I do find mine's quite dark, and I'm not sure if I love that. But as I say, it's fine. It's something that's just going to be up for a few months of the year. So I think I can I think I'm okay with it. So now that actually I'm happy is the final one in that series. So I've done the whole series. So that was spring. There's summer. Autumn. That one's my favorite, I think. And winter. So I haven't decided yet how I'm going to finish these. I was sort of hoping they would work with my little Rolodex finish that I showed in the last video, but the dimensions are a little too big for these, I think, to fit in there. So I have another pattern that I'll show you in just a minute that I'm thinking about doing. So that was my second focus project of the month, and it's a finish, so that's exciting. And then my final one I'm going to show you was my my other focus project for the month. It's the Twine collection Chipping Sparrow Biscore Nest. And I stitched this on a 20 count tea-dyed linen with the called for DMC. And here it is. Back. So yes, you've probably seen this before, and you can probably tell the little eggs are done 1/1. This was my first time doing 1/1, and I'll be honest, when I did the first egg, about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way in, I'm like, oh, I do not like this. I don't like this at all. I was finding it, well, challenging. I'm sure like a lot of people do. And I thought, I'm never going to do this again. And I was dreading that I had 3 more eggs to do. But I tried stitching in a different way on the second one, and that worked a little bit better. So by the third and fourth one, it actually, I'd sort of gotten into my groove. And by the fourth one, I actually was enjoying the 1/1. So the other piece in this set is a scissor fob, and it's this little chipping sparrow. And the sparrow is done 1/1. So I think I'm going to do that as well, and then I'll have the set completed. But so that was my FFO for the month of April. I stuffed it with crushed walnuts. If I had to do it over again, I think I would put a little bit less in, just so I could compress it a little bit more. But it's not too bad. You can see there's a bit of a hollow in there. But yeah, so that was exciting to finish that. So that is all of my stitching that I did this month. So I think I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you a future start. And this is also part of my haul from a little while ago. So this is everybody's favorite, the Madame Chantilly tiered trays, and this is the Christmas one. I chose the Christmas one because in May I'm doing Merry Mania, so this is going to be one of my new starts during the month of May for Merry Mania. So I'm very excited about that. So that's what the chart looks like. The fabric I'm going to use is a 32 count platinum. Pretty sure it's a Zweigart. Not 100% on that, but so yeah, there's no modeling or anything. It's just a sort of very pale, sandy, creamy kind of color. And there's the flosses for that. It's all done in DMC. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So that is my future start. So talking about haul, I did have a little bit of haul that I was going to show to you. So another one that I got, I mentioned in my last video that I had another Christmas stocking coming. So this is called Santa's Truck. And I have decided I'm going to do this stocking for my husband. He's a car guy. He loves cars. He's owned a number of trucks throughout his adult life. So I thought he might really enjoy this one. And then the stocking that I had started for him, it has a lot of animals on it, like polar bears and wolves and I think maybe some bunnies, I forget now. But I'm going to change that one. His name's on the top, but it's easy to take that out, and I'm going to make that for my youngest daughter because she really likes animals. So that was my haul for that. And it comes obviously with all of the kit flosses done up, pre-sorted. I've never used these pre-sorted ones before, so see how that goes. And then the fabric that came with it is just cream Aida, and I'm just going to use the Aida. All of the other stockings that I've done on the Aida that came in the kit, so I don't think I'll change now. And then the other one that I talked to you a little bit about, this is another Lizzie Kate Seasons that I have. So you can see the 4 of them there. Those are really fun. I think I'm going to stitch these ones, and they should fit on my little Rolodex so that between the different holidays I can have one of these hanging. Because yeah, right now Easter is over. My next holiday is July 1st, which is quite a ways away, so it seems funny flipping it over and having the Canada Day one there. So if I do this, I can put the spring one and have the spring one there until it gets close to Canada Day. So I wanted to do it in the overdyes. I know there's a lot of the motifs are quite small, but I figured it was a way to build my stash of overdyes because I don't have a ton. So that's them there. Some of them. I do have a couple of the ones that they called for already in my stash, so. So yeah, so that's some of my haul from recently that I've got. I do have some other stuff I haven't showed you yet, but I'll show you that in a future video when I talk about some other stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about are my plans. So yes, I did mention that for the month of May, instead of doing a traditional mania, which involves doing new starts, I'm going to do what I'm calling Merry Mania, and I'm going to focus on all of my Christmas projects. So most of those are whips already, but I do have those few new starts. So I already showed you the Madame Chantilly tiered tray, and I also have the Santa's truck stocking that I'm going to do. And then I have one other new start that I've thrown in there, and it is the this little Mill Hill sleigh kit. I've had this in my stash for a while, so I thought that would be a good opportunity to start it. So that's going on my wheel as a potential future start. And then the other thing that I had mentioned that I might add to my Merry Mania was a diamond painting kit. I had bought one quite a number of years ago, and it's a Christmas one. And I thought maybe that would be a fun opportunity to start it too. So it's a Diamond Dots kit, and I picked it up at Michael's again 2-3 years ago. That's kind of what it looks like. You can sort of see there. So it's a truck with some presents and a tree on the top. So here's the canvas. So I've never done one of these before, so I'm looking forward to trying it and seeing how it goes. I think they call this a partial, don't they, Gail? Is that what they're called? Because the background is already sort of painted, and you're just doing the truck and the presents and the tree. Here's the drills. So the colors are really nice and bright. hopefully you can see the sparkle on those. And yeah, they're little round ones. And then it has these bigger ones that go in a few spots. You can see where the big dots are. I think they're supposed to look like baubles on the tree. So that'll be fun too. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying that and seeing how that goes. Maybe I can get that done for Christmas this year. Because I think once I've started it, I'll put it on my whip wheel and work on it periodically over the year. So that's, I think, it as far as stitching goes. If that's all you're here for, then the only things I'm going to talk about next, I'm going to do a sneak peek into my Etsy shop, and I'm going to show a craft from the past. So if you're not interested in those things, that's more than okay, and I will see you next time. If you are interested, let's go ahead and talk about them. So my sneak peek into my Etsy shop, I am going to show you today a new product that I've kind of been tweaking for the last year or so. I want to thank my friends that I met at the Hamilton Stitch in November of 2019. It was my first stitch-in that I had attended. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to have any since then, thank you to COVID. But I met some lovely people there, and they were all interested in my Etsy shop and the things that I was making and selling, because I did take a few bags and a few notions pouches and things with me to sell. And a lot of my fellow stitchers had some wonderful suggestions of things to make or way to improve on things. And one of the great ideas they gave to me was to make magnifier light covers, and so I did do that, and they have been a great seller in my shop, so thank you for that, my friends. And another thing we had talked about, a few of us, was the idea of a double project bag. One of the girls had one there that she had purchased, and she's sort of showing me what she liked about it and what she didn't like about it. So I took those ideas and I sort of thought about different ways I could recreate something like that, but put my own spin on it and make something maybe unique. I don't know if it's unique. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but anyway, let me go ahead and show you. So this is what I'm calling a project bag portfolio. So you can see it's got the handles. So the handles are padded, so they're nice and comfy. It's got a button closure here that this little elastic band just pops around to keep it closed. So it's pretty simple to close. And then when you open it up, there's two project bags. So my thought was this would be a great item to take to a stitch day or even a retreat, that you could pack, stuff in each side there. But my spin that I put on it, you can sort of see there's this zipper here in the middle. So I thought it would be fun to allow people, like, you can just buy it like this if you just want a double project bag. But I wanted to allow people to customize it a little bit, and have some flexibility using it. So with that zipper, I've created accompanying what I'm calling inserts that fit in there. So here's another project bag. So if you wanted to take 3 project bags, bear with me. You can just zip another one in there. So now you have 3 project bags. Or if you're at the retreat and you didn't want to take the whole thing, you could just unzip the one project bag and take it with you. But I wanted to do a little bit more than that. So the other thing I came up with were some floss organizers. So this one has the pockets to do bobbinated floss. And then on this side, I created this with these little loops that if you like to use hand-dyed flosses and you keep them on rings, or even if you use GMC, you keep them on rings, you can just put your little binder ring through that little loop and let your flosses hang down, and then you can tuck the ends in this pocket so they don't dangle or get tangled or get dirty type of thing. And then that also has a zipper on the bottom that you can zip it into the portfolio. So then you can take that with you. And then I decided to try one other style of insert. I'm calling it a fancy floss pocket folder. So it just has these little, I think they're 3 by 4 inch pockets that you can tuck your fancy floss in. So you just tuck it like that. So if you don't want it hanging, then you can do that. So it's double-sided. So you can have 18 fancy flosses in there. So the inserts are sold separately to allow you that flexibility that you can buy what you want. And the inserts can be used if somebody didn't want the portfolio but they wanted one of those floss organizers. You can buy them individually. Like, yes, they have this little half zipper on the bottom, but it doesn't, it's very tight and flush. It doesn't catch on anything, so it won't be an issue if you just wanted a floss organizer and not the portfolio. But so I only have a couple in there right now, this one and then my prototype one, or one of the first ones that I made. I did have one other one, but it was sold. And I do hope to maybe put some more in the future, but I'm not going to go crazy right now until I see if there's interest, because they take a lot of fabric and resources, and they take a little bit of time, obviously, to make. So, but yeah, so those are my project bag portfolios that you can find in my Etsy shop, which I will link down below if you're interested. So to finish off the video, I'm going to show you a craft from the past. As I said last time, I'm starting to run out of things that at least that I can find or think of. I'll keep going as long as I can find things, but at some point this segment may not be part of my videos anymore if I don't have anything else to show you. So a number of years ago, quite a number of years ago, I've mentioned, I think in the past, that I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I used to do home parties. I used to do classes, card making classes at my house, or even other things, not just cards. And I was lucky enough to attend the Stampin' Up! Annual convention in Salt Lake City a couple of years while I was a demonstrator. And just like when we go to retreats and usually do like a smalls exchange, there was all kinds of swaps to do at the Stampin' Up! Convention. So one year I participated in a swap that was supposed to be a small, I think like a small 3D type item or whatever. And yeah, like I think I was in a group of 10 people, and you make 10 and take them and give everybody one of yours, and they give you one of their things that they've made, and then you've got 10 different samples to bring home to show to your customers of different ideas of how to use the stamp sets and the cardstock and that sort of thing. So this is a little thing that I made. So that was a stamp set that said "Enjoy." I added a little bit of glitter on there, and it's a little box that I made all out of cardstock that we sold. So it's got like a little base, and then inside the box I used these little watchmaker tins, and I created these little dimensional type magnets that you could use on the fridge. So I put like some little beads in there, so they're kind of fun because they shake. And this one says "Time Flies." That one says "Party Time." This one says thank you. And then I put a little bit of ribbon around the outside that helps to keep the tin from the lid coming open, so they each have a little bit of ribbon on the edge. And yeah, the idea being that that could be a little, you know, like teacher's gift, or a little thank you gift for a friend if they've done something nice for you and you just want to acknowledge that. And but yeah, so there, that's a craft from the past. So that is everything I have to share with you today. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. I am going to try to document my Merry Mania on Instagram. Maybe taking some pictures of the wheel when I spin it, because my goal, I'm going to spin the wheel every 2 to 3 days and stitch on a project for those 2 to 3 days, and then switch to another one. So I'm going to try and document that on Instagram. So if you're curious and you want to follow me in real time type of thing, then I will put a link to my Instagram account. Otherwise, next month when I do a video, you'll see everything that I worked on then. So thank you for stopping by to visit. I will see you all next time.